hey, run to the truck today, and I finished up a few things. I didn't film me necessarily finishing all the items, but I'll show you what I did so you guys have an understanding of what I did. Now, I do want to rewire the back of this truck. Right now, everything, trailer lights and bed lights are all wired into the same circuit, and I'm pretty sure that these trucks have a trailer set of fuses and like a truck set of fuses for running lights and tail lights, turn signals, stuff like that. So eventually I got all these extra wires. I do want to get a different harness and wired up correctly. But here's what I got going on right now. I wired in this, which was the original 7-way female plug that used to be in the back of the bumper. And you can see that the tabs are broke off of it. So I wired that in exactly the way it was when I first got the truck. Then I had this lying around. This is the male end that goes in for like a trailer. I wired that in, or I plugged that in. Here's the harness for the bed, and then I have a new harness or a new connector here for the tail lights for a trailer. What I did is I went to the hardware store, Menards, for those of you who know, and got this box. It's just an electrical box, 0 holes in it. It has 4 mounting spots, 2 down here and 2 on the top. I only mounted it on the bottom ones because it's kind of wedged in here with the hitch anyway. Came out really good. I did silicone them, the connectors in, but I used a step drill, so I only drilled pretty much how big I needed to drill. And this is a sealed box. And what we did is inside of there, I put on a bunch of connectors from this Harbor Freight connector kit. So I was putting on like ringlets and stuff like that on all of my wires. Then I took one of these. It's a 6-way connector. Actually, this I got from Harbor Freight as well. And I put that in there, and so that way I can put all of my like ground, right turn signal, left turn signal, running lights, brakes, reverse lights, stuff like that. So there's actually 7 wires that are for a back end of a truck, because auxiliary power, that's the last one. So what I did is I used 6 of them, and then I used 1 spade connector, and they're just a male to female spade. So that got me all 7 because it's only a 6-gang wiring connector. But it's a little tight in this box, but I like the smaller size. We'll see if I change it around or if I put it up in here further or something else like that, then I might switch to the bigger box. It's really easy to do. Just get a new one, and the hardest thing is going to be just getting all the wires out of there. So that was our wiring fix. But now if I want to take this bed off, all I have to do is undo this connector, and technically I'd have to get this wire out of there. This is actually for my reverse lights right now because it's a spade connector in here, but maybe we'll add a connector out here. But other than that, it's just 1 connector, and I can take the whole bed off. I don't have to worry about all the wiring nightmares and everything else. So, but we got the bed all bolted down. I do have to do some U-joint work, which I'll show you. And I need the truck to go help my parents move some stuff out of our cabin. But the other thing that I did, just because I thought it was hilarious, is I had this big tip lying around, and I just kind of booger welded it on. But it's hilarious, so why not? It kind of matches. It's black and rusty, and I'm going to add a hanger off of it, but that should about do that. If you can see on this U-joint, see how there's this line that goes around? That's from that U-joint spinning up against this stopper. And that's not good. And then also, if you can, just a little bit of side to side movement, and actually if you look at it really closely, you can see it actually moving there just a little bit, because either the strap is really wore out or the yoke is wore out. So we're gonna take this off and see if we can figure out what's going on. Okay, so this is one of those things that, especially on stuff that's underneath the truck, happens quite a bit, is it's rounded off enough that I can't get the socket on it or even a wrench on it. So I have these handy dandy set of, I don't know if you can see that or not, they curl on. It's a 6-point, but it bites harder and harder and gets smaller and smaller as it bites in. So it specifically made to get stubborn stuff like this out. Ooh, we finally got it. Those things you don't know you need this tool until you need it. Now the one thing you guys might want to do is, this is a wobble, and the nice thing, when I had the ratchet here, the ratchet was up against this and it would hold the socket just a little bit away and give me a worse angle, whereas with a wobble you can get just enough clearance to get away. So that's, and also I think my 8mm was a little worn out, my original one, so I went and got a different one to get these off. So So the last thing we're going to do here is, before we pull this drive shaft out, we're going to mark it so you can make sure that you get it in the right spline again for clocking. And right about there, just to kind of give us a... There we go. Now I'll get it out of here. We got our new U-joint installed, so that's all good. And then I went and got a new strap kit for the U-joint straps, nice and shiny. And then instead of being the 8mm or 5/16 6-point, it is now an Allen. So that should make it a little bit easier to get stuff in there and the way it needs to be. So we're gonna bolt this on and see how tight this gets. If we need to add those shims, like brass or copper shims or something. The old cups and everything else, I had to actually cut the yoke out because the clips wouldn't come out for the ends, and the cups were just, there was barely anything left. I had to drive them out with a impact or a air hammer, and they came apart in pieces. So hopefully they were just wore out and the yoke and the straps are good to go. So it feels really good and tight. I mean, there isn't any slop like there used to be. We'll have to watch it just to make sure. I'll just take a squirt of paint and just paint it on there just to make sure that it's not moving, and we'll watch it. If it starts to move, then we can loosen up one of these straps and lay, like I said, a little piece of something in there just to tighten that up a little bit. But there it is. I think we're good. Coming at you from under the truck. Thanks for watching.